the practice of Reiki. So I will say right now that there is no way I could cover adequately this topic in a video that's just a few minutes. In fact, I'm having difficulty fitting in a very high level in just a few minutes. So I would say if you're interested, do your research. There's plenty online. There are great books out there. In fact, I can recommend a few that my teacher recommended to me. But again, I'm just gonna give very basics at a high level. If you're interested, do your research. So the practice of Reiki, Reiki was established by a Japanese man named Dr. Usui. And since he established Reiki, there are definitely different lineages that have variations. Again, it's way too hard to capture all of that. And I will say too, I'm giving kind of the practice from a Western viewpoint. The way that Reiki is done still in Japan is different than how we do it in the West. So in terms of the West, again, there's different lineages. There can be variations in terms of the histories, in terms of some of the things that are used in Reiki sessions, for example, crystals. But all of Reiki should have different levels, typically 3 to 4. In the first level, the concept is that we all have access to Reiki, but just, the way that the world works, we don't typically tap into it, if you will. And so the teacher or master gives you an attunement that reminds you about this energy. And if you've ever had a Reiki attunement, you know exactly what I mean. It is very physical, you feel it, it is very real. And you're taught in that first level, they call it the physical level, mostly because, again, you're just kind of being mindful of how that energy feels. You're encouraged to, give Reiki sessions to family and friends, but just more so in terms of, getting used to that energy and trying it out. In the second level, again, there's another attunement that goes along with that. And so it kind of opens up that channel of the energy a little bit further. You're taught symbols. I was taught 3. Again, I think there can be some variation in that. And it's more so the level that focuses on, Reiki to help mental and emotional issues, as well as distance Reiki. In fact, one of the symbols that you're taught is for distance. And then in the third level, and sometimes it's also the fourth level, is the master teacher level. So part of that focus is on the spiritual aspects of Reiki, and then the other is more so in terms of teaching and doing the attunements for others. Again, you're given some symbols, and there's another attunement. So that's very basic of how the practice of Reiki works. Like I said, there's a lot more, so if you have questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see what I can get to.